And we're going in.
Wait, what happened?
You messed it up. We're starting the show.
Oh, cool.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I'm hitting you with the call. The video call.
Oh, Skype? Hey everybody, welcome to another great, exciting, wonderful episode of Super Desperation Radio. Not more than 3 minutes late, so forgive us.
Can we get some more superlatives? Is it going to be exuberant?
It's gonna be
It'll be jubilant.
But will it be effervescent?
It might be enticing.
It might also be interesting. Yeah. That's all I got. I wasn't really coming up with as many as possible. I was just trying to fill up time because I'm doing several other things and I forgot to exit out of the KOF lobby and there's a match going on. It'd be rude to leave. Anyway,
surprised you just aren't even running a lobby in the background the whole time.
I should, right? I should just do that. Like, why even, why even
since
care
we aren't really having the camera shot at the moment.
Seriously. Yeah, well, I'll just do that. It's easier.
Okay.
Oh, we got what? Oh, really?
I want to see this match because
Well, he's not playing right now, but he's yeah.
Oh, he is. Oh, LeBron's not playing. Okay, I was wondering about that because I was like, how come he's not playing yet?
Yeah, I don't know. Did he drop out?
I don't know. Anyway, so there was definitely a great amount of things happening this weekend. We are getting pretty close to SoCal Regionals.
Oh yeah, it's like a month away?
It's like a month away, yeah. And that's like, I think the last American CPT premier event, other than the regional qualifier. Because I guess that doesn't substitute, but that basically acts as a premier event where somebody basically qualifies.
Wonderful! Player 2 wins!
So, yeah, the year is winding down. We are coming up on, like, pretty much, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else that happens after that, you know?
Capcom Cup, finally.
We're finally almost done, guys. Well, maybe. I mean, do we even have a day for that yet?
No, I have no clue when it's happening.
Well, also in October, see Otaku and Youmacon at the end of the month. Then we'll have November. I'm not sure what's happening in November. I assume we'll have NEC in December, probably second or third week, pending. So, there's still a lot, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
maybe not, maybe not if you're just in it for Street Fighter 5, but
yeah, if you're in for Street Fighter 5, there's like maybe 4 or 5 events you're gonna be watching before the end of the year without including the CDT finals. But if you're into everything else, there's a lot of things happening. There's like See Otaku. There's going to be
apparently you got to turn the volume down on
me?
On the game?
Games.
Ah, okay. There is going to be a very, so far, mysterious tournament for KOF 14 run by SNK itself, where they basically called it the KOF 14 World Championships, and that's all I know about it. I wanted to talk more. I want to be able to talk more about that, but it just seems like they haven't even decided on a day. So, I mean, at this point,
well, they even said when, like around when they plan on trying to do it.
I think before the end of the year was something that they mentioned. I don't think it was going to happen by 2017. That's the most vague. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we've got nothing to go off of. But it's really cool that they're actually doing it. I just wish we knew something more about it.
Yeah. Well, with TGS coming up and after that stuff happening, we'll see. I mean, hopefully there'll be some King of Fighters announcements there, depending on, what is this going to be like? are we actually going to see a patch before the season starts, and then get one after it's over? You know what I mean? Because obviously the game's come out and they've already touched a little bit of stuff. But, there's still a couple bugs people have been finding. When I play against Gibby, we usually always find at least one or two. It feels like. There's a lot of little things to go with it. So it'd be interesting to see like this is the preseason testing the game out, and then we get a little bit of balance change here and there. Nothing too drastic, I would hope. Kind of like Dota, except they have like mid-season patches.
Well, it's going to be interesting with TGS in general because, excuse me, there's a bunch of stuff that is kind of around the bend. Obviously, for those who haven't seen, Master Raven is finally jumping in, being added to Tekken 7 FR this week. Actually, on the 15th, TGS starts, and then obviously there might be something from Atlas. We'll see if there's going to be something from ArcSys. We'll see if there's something from Capcom. I mean, there could be any number of possible fighting game announcements coming out of Japan, or we could get nothing. It's sort of up in the air. So, I don't know. It'll be an interesting couple of days. I'll say that.
Yeah.
What do we know about what's going on with NEC for KOF? Because I know they did a pop bonus at recently for
I haven't actually seen all the details about NEC yet.
I kind of think like, cause I want to say like they did something for it last year for 13 only.
They did.
Like Brandon went there.
It was like a community pop bonus, or was it? Or what? Did they just have like $1,000 pop bonus for 13 last year?
I think they just threw it down and like hella people wanted to roll through for it. So I mean, hopefully something similar happens this time.
So
yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
No.
We've actually, I've got a couple things distracting me, of course. We've got the football season starting. I'm wearing my, my jersey here. I'll show it as soon as we get the Skype call up. Did anybody watch Backlash last night? I've been kind of out of the loop with that.
I watched it.
I heard
it was a better show than I expected it to be.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, this is not how, like, we wanted some of these storylines to end, like even close. But other than that, there were some parts where like people seemed genuinely happy.
I thought overall it was all the results were pretty good. The matches I thought were good to above average for the most part. I just don't think that in building up the show they got anybody to really care. So I don't know how many people actually tuned in like I did.
Well, like maybe some people were just like, whatever.
There's a bunch of people who just didn't give a shit. I'm pretty positive.
Yeah.
I saw as much as I could. It wasn't really too enthralling though. I'm a little sad at the way that the AJ match ended. Just a little bit.
Why so?
You really need a ref bump right now. Like, you can't just keep him strong.
I thought, honestly, I felt like that was just the whole thing to make sure that he stays heel. Like, they wanted to basically put over the fact that, yeah, he's a great wrestler, he can hang, until the very end where he still needs, sometimes he still needs that cheating. I was fine with that. I mean,
AJ Styles is definitely a wrestler that really feels like he brings out the best for, everybody that he goes against. And he's a person who could switch it up, do whatever he wants. But even with someone with, like, in the realistic world and his, level as a performer and a wrestler, like, he is so skilled, but let's make him do a ref bump, Let's have people kick out of one of the most protected, finishers and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Well, at least nobody kicked out of Styles Clash, right?
Yeah. I mean, they have before, but not right now. Not this event.
Well, they're not all John Cena.
Well, I guess you're right. But he beat John Cena clean, but I guess he has to ref bump to beat the wacky line man.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's so wacky, I probably see him, flying out around on the power plant.
Dude, he's like the fucking the Toon World of like Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Like, shit doesn't make sense when fucking
the lunatic fringe. Oh, he's crazy.
But I just honestly I feel like I am a little bit sort of old school. Somebody in chat talking about how he follows, or he or she follows, the Jim Ross, Jim Cornette school of thought where heels should go over with cheating, and I kind of agree with that. Every once in a while, you need to make sure heel goes over clean because you don't want them to look like just they don't have any kind of cachet or believability. But I still think when you want them to go over a big face, you want them to go over cheating so that you can continue the feud if you need to.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you want to protect. Because I was thinking, like, in a day and age where even the Miz goes over clean, who's gonna actually be worse than that?
Well, because it's like we don't know if Cena will be back for the next pay-per-view for SmackDown, so they might still need to run Ambrose versus AJ next month. And if he had just beat Ambrose clean last night, why does that feud continue?
Because he wants to win? I don't know. I mean, that's not what the whole idea is.
I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to. You gotta believe, right? You gotta believe he wants to win.
I understand, like, everything you said, and it sucks that we kind of really just have to keep playing into the same cliches at all time. We can't have a person who, or like someone who cheats early, and obviously you can't have a win fast in your main show, but like, make them cheat and be dominant while cheating.
With stuff like that, I always look at the counterpoint to that being the Triple H Evolution run, where there was some cheating, but he always just like pedigreed everybody and then they died. And he did it for like 2 years, and everybody was so fucking tired of his shit because he was so strong that nobody ever got over on him. I'm like, you know what? I'm cool with some weakness.
I guess so. It feels like it's so early, but I mean, like you said, it all makes sense. It's a little disappointing.
I'll tell you what's disappointing is Bray Wyatt.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Started.
That is actual. So I understand why they put Kane over, because basically it was just to further the Orton Wyatt feud.
Yeah.
But damn, he really could have used a win.
Can we talk about for a moment how nobody expected that outcome?
Yeah. Like, I was laughing about it. I was like, man, how funny would it be if they actually put Kane over here?
It's like we got the Eater of Worlds being fed to Kane, and it's like, really?
Yeah. That wasn't really a good look at all. It was funny too because it was the match didn't happen, and then I was watching it with a friend, and he was like, "If Kane comes out, I'm just gonna do a triple Lux into my grave." And I'm like, "Oh man!" And then he came out, and he's like, "I'm out." He's got
the triple Lux.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking spin off like one heel midair and just land directly 6 feet under. He was just
later,
done.
guys.
Yeah, and that's just.
He's down there with Dolph Ziggler now, man. He can't buy a bucket.
Nope.
Like, he can't buy. He cannot go to the store. They will not sell him a win. He could put all the money on the table, and it's just.
It's just not good enough. I mean,
The thing about it is so. Basically, Orton just got his revenge right there. He just caused Wyatt to lose. What does Orton have to do now? I'm so lost.
I'm assuming they'll just have him mind his own business, and now Bray Wyatt will want revenge because he feels wronged for starting the. I don't know. They could just keep it going back and forth, and it won't make any sense after a while. And then probably by the end of the year, we'll forget that even happened. And I mean, as long as he has a job, he's not going anywhere, right? So maybe next year will be his year.
We've been saying that since he showed up.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus.
Next year.
How many more times can I hope that this is the year of Wyatt?
I mean, it's not just that too, though. I mean, remember longest tag team champion, the Ascension for NXT?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Who? Those guys are so dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a disappointment. Like, where do you come off of just be like, these guys they're doing good. We want to push them up, and then we get motherfuckers like Baron Corbin just advancing. And it's like, by the way, now I won this award. Like, what the fuck happened? Who's making these decisions?
SmackDown is literally a shit show right now because Cena's not there. Orton's hurt. So your guys on top are literally AJ, Ambrose, and maybe Kane now? Your best tag team is doing an angle with the Usos. That's fine. but who does Rhino and Slater face now? Do they face the Headbangers again? I mean,
Sure, why not? That can't be that bad.
Fuck it.
Like, the Vaudevillains are so dead. The Ascension is so dead. I mean, fuck, who's around?
I think it's a perfect time for me to get out of the game again.
Nah, I'm gonna keep. And then it's like, Bruce and Corbin are kind of these guys just floating in mid-card-ish, but so Corbin goes over last night, but all the belts are held by heels, Miz and AJ. So what was the point? Like, what are you building him to? Because I don't think they're taking the belt off Miz anytime soon. Because if they were going to do it, I thought last night was going to be it.
I don't know. It's such a.
I'm a little lost.
It's just such a silly business decisions that they're making. I don't know. I'm not even. Like, I only recently got like into wrestling. Like, I used to always kind of know it. My brothers always watch it, so I had some idea. And there was just like a dark period where I didn't watch it at all. And friends haven't gotten me into it. It's just like, man, really? Like, what's going on? That being said, NXT is a quality product, and I hope I can get to go to the show. I'll probably go.
Speaking of silly though, did anyone else watch CM Punk?
Oh god, dude!
I didn't watch it, but I did
take that part in about a minute and a half.
Oh my god, that was everything that we thought it was going to be for the entire 2 years that we were expecting it. The funny part is I can't remember anything about it. Like,
There's not much to remember.
Yeah.
He ran at the guy.
I can remember
got
he got
taken
choked.
down.
I can remember he
It's
got choked.
gifable. That's the problem. It's gifable.
It's actually legitimately gifable. You can probably post the entire fight on Twitter.
He
now.
goes into a stance, runs at the guy, and immediately just reminds us, like, oh yeah, takedowns.
Like, it just
Those are a
went
thing.
immediately to the ground, and he just never got back up. And like, I mean, I wouldn't even say like, you know, his lack of experience like was what caused him not to be able to get out of that. It's what got him into it, you know. Because like the moment he hit the ground, he was done. The guy transitioned 3 times on him.
It's like the second he got on the ground, he was completely lost.
Yeah,
He didn't know how to
idea.
didn't know how to protect himself. He's just fucking taking blows to the dome, and it's like, yeah, this is only getting worse by the minute.
He got legit fucked up too. He got a cauliflower ear from that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you've never
real
seen that
fast.
happen in real time, man. That's like you are not used to this, baby. And Joe Rogan over here calling him delusional. I'm like, you know what? There's no other word for it. He's delusional.
Oh man!
If you thought 2 years with his skill level was going to be enough, I mean, it's unfortunate.
I don't know that he thought it was enough. I think he just wanted to do it, and because he has fame and a name, he got to do it. And it's not like, I was listening to Meltzer talk about it. It's not like he's the only one who's gotten to do stuff like this. You know, it's like Michael Jordan got to play minor league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
True, yeah.
Brock Lesnar tried out for the Vikings and almost made the team.
Ironically, all 3 were similar results. Like everybody kind of just felt like they were just not up to par, you know.
And I mean, Punk's definitely not the first person who, with a name, who's tried to go into MMA. There's been football players, other wrestlers, boxers, and people just
terrible.
MMA is just gonna, you're just gonna get your shit stomped in.
Mm-hmm. You just have to be. I wouldn't even say pure, but you have to know that you have to forget everything you learned doing whatever it was you were doing before that. You know?
Do a lot of MMA matches, like, I'm not entirely sure. I don't watch a ton of it, but I'm assuming they have a point system. But does a lot of matches even go to decision?
Yeah.
Or does someone?
Yeah, fair amount. Because a lot of the prelim fights are only 3 rounds. So.
Okay, and that makes sense. You're pretty much going crazy out there.
Yep.
So
that was interesting. And nothing much else I can say about that. At least he did it, so I'll give him my respect for that.
He wanted to do it, and he did it. Good for him.
Yep.
That's
that's something under your belt, right? Like, let's try this. I have the means and the income.
He said he wants to do it again. Maybe, I mean, Bellator will probably throw money at him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine.
He could. I mean, apparently he made $500,000 for this fight.
Really?
So,
a lot.
Yeah, and he could make more depending on the buy rate. What I've heard. So, if he ended up, what?
How much more did he make than the guy that won?
Mickey Gall made I want to say he made 10 times more. Somebody said Mickey Gall got 30 to 50K.
Jeez.
So.
Damn.
Yeah.
And more positive news, Tokyo Game Show is coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
And less positive news, Last Guardian is delayed.
Last Trip Guardian, yo.
The Last Trip Guardian.
Yeah.
So wait, I heard the new Final Fantasy got delayed again too.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah, that got delayed.
That
was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, my bad.
They got delayed because they still wanted to make a better experience for players that didn't have access to the internet in order to be able to do a day one patch. So that's really nice to think about, or people that have bandwidth limitations be like, man, I'd love to download this patch, but if I go over to my data allotment, or how long this takes, I can get screwed. So that's it's really sad because of this game is has it actually been 8 years or something, almost 10 years in the making?
Well,
Last Guardian?
No, Last Guardian, yeah, but I'm talking about Final Fantasy 15 because it used to be Versus 13.
Yeah.
Isn't it a decade for 13?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because Last Guardian's the 2 Obama administrations.
Yeah.
Damn. That's actually a really weird thing to think.
Isn't it really weird that it's these games are coming out and it's not even how nowadays we have Hollywood movies of Alvin and the Chipmunks and the Smurfs would be oh, this age group has become adults and they have kids and they'll probably be nostalgic for this, so we can kind of repurpose and remarket it, something that they can see familiar and then share with their children. This isn't the case. This has just been, we're working on the next one, boys. It's gonna be a long fucking time. There's no nostalgia involved. You've just been waiting for that long. This has been in development hell or something.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Definitely.
We got what's his name? God, I can't even think of his name now. Nomura, right? Is he the Final Fantasy guy?
Yeah.
Tetsuya Nomura. He's spreading himself thin across 30 Kingdom Hearts games and this game and probably some other little shit here and there.
We're gonna get 2.8 soon.
Yeah, 2.8. 2.5 already came out. 2.8. We're gonna have a whole new movie of shit from that phone game that isn't even in the phone game. So playing it was almost irrelevant, and all this other stuff. I actually don't know that much.
Remember when we all played Shadow of the Colossus, and then we were like, "Oh man, can't wait till these guys have a PS3 game. That's going to be so good."
I know, right?
Whoops.
It's
skip the generation.
Yeah, Eco comes out at the launch title. Interesting game, kind of short, but definitely has some interesting concepts. Some parts are really annoying. Oh man, I gotta take care of someone. Realistically, if you gotta take care of someone it's probably gonna be hard anyways and annoying.
No.
And then you find out more about the world, and then it's all right, cool. So where's this gonna take place in the whole timeline, the grand scheme of things? I can't wait to find out. And here we are. Still waiting. I don't even know if this game has anything to do with the other two. I'm assuming it does, but it's just a side story.
Nah, it's just nothing.
I was honestly, I always say this. I was just happy with it being dead at that point, and then they announced it at E3 2 years ago that they were still making it, and I'm like, no. Now I'm disappointed.
It's when we finally got Duke Nukem, and it's we didn't want it anymore.
We definitely did not.
And that's the worst part, is that Duke Nukem is essentially crowdfunding, some Mighty Number 9 or other kind of stuff right now. It finally came out after all these years, and we're completely disappointed, and nothing has really done the same and proven itself. So, the lowest expectations are to be had.
Well, both were kind of swept under the rug within a month.
Yeah.
And now I don't think anybody even mentions Mighty Number 9 unless they're talking about Kickstarter failures.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's actually really funny because it really has just kind of gone out of people's mind. They remember the impact has been left, but it's not noteworthy to even bring up anymore.
The taste didn't linger.
Yeah.
I thought Mighty Number 9 would definitely be the scorn of a nation for centuries to come, considering.
What? It just wasn't bad enough.
You think? I think that's what it was.
I hate to say it that way, but it's literally just lukewarm.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's a disappointment, but it's not bad enough that people are going to remember it forever. In a couple years, people are going to it'll be a footnote.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not going to be one of the legendarily bad games. Like it will never achieve Enter the Matrix status.
Yeah, it won't be like, there's so many other games that are just so trashy. People still talking about them, you know?
Oh man, that's true. I was actually thinking about that a couple of days ago.
Paul, you're trying to tell me you didn't enjoy Enter the Matrix?
Which part? The part you couldn't get past because the game would glitch?
Yeah, I mean, it was like meta storytelling. Like, you know, the fact that you couldn't get through the game kind of like symbolized that you couldn't get out of the Matrix.
You don't get out of life alive.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I actually never played that game. I watched some of my friends play it because I saw all the reviews when it first came out, and I was like, holy shit. But a couple of my friends who were just really into the movies at the time rented it anyway, and I was like, holy shit, this game is fucking bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't choice.
That's the real sad part, too. It's just like, it really is just, it's a footnote in the history, but like, people were really upset about this game and it wasn't what I expected. But like, even like Sonic, who's like really like trying to really trash on it, dude. Sonic 06 is gonna one of those games too. People hate that game.
I mean, it can never enter. It will never enter the pantheon of awful games like E.T. or Superman 64.
Yeah. Superman 64.
Jesus, no, that was.
That's so crazy that it's like it's put in such a level of mediocrity that it isn't even worth bringing up. Like, that's crazy. Like, you won't
even see people run this game on awful games done quick. It's just not going to happen because it's not even bad enough. It's not good enough to run, and it's not bad enough to run.
That's sad.
It's so crazy. Like,
people like to complain about bad games a lot too, and they're really sensitive towards makes a bad game.
It's enjoyable because it allows you to vent.
Right?
Like, you're just like, God, this
Mystery
is
Science
fucking
Theater 3000. That's what
exactly.
Yeah.
I just got to think like that. Like Tony's saying, like it's so bad that like it must be like, you know, anguishing or agonizing for the developers. Say, man, we're not even being talked about in a negative manner because we did such a shit job. That
the more press is how
like it's not even
people don't like.
It's not even
people
campy.
don't like concept rather than the game being bad.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, fuck concept, dude, fucking assholes. That's more relevant than the quality of their game.
Like Inafuna's like great. I die with a whimper, you know.
Yeah, it's just, man.
You know what? In the last few years, I'd say since 2010, like the last 6 years ish, what is the worst game you can think of? That actually, okay, and I have to say this, that was on a console, like a major console release. What's the worst game? Because Brink was really bad.
Well, you mean like it's supposed to be killer app, something that got praised, or just a really bad game?
Just a really bad game.
I mean, we got some really old LGN stuff. You know, people talk about Back to the Future for the NES and
I said since 2010.
2010.
Yeah,
some real fucking bad games. I'll say The Order in 1883 or 85 or whatever the fuck.
Damn,
that game sucks.
I don't know, man. Like all the games I've got, I usually enjoy because I know
somebody wrote KOF 12.
Boom. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, actually,
that is a good one.
point.
Yeah, actually, it is bad enough to still be talked about because you have King of Fighters.
That game really is that awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is God, I paid $60 for that shit, dude.
Yeah.
I still love I was the aftermath where when 13 came out, people would accidentally buy 12.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
That shit was the worst. Where someone's like, "Yeah, man."
I now understand why we need to learn Roman numerals in school.
Yeah, I think Zerg might have gotten hit by that, where someone's like, "Yeah, you know, you go to some shops and they have to go behind the counter to grab the disc for you."
Look at the early release.
And they put the 12 in there, and it's like, "No, man, this shit is not okay."
Yeah.
You freaking fireball the shop.
What is this Ride to Hell game everybody's talking about?
I don't know. I think I might have heard of it, but like, there's just like, again, like if you look at like a lot of these YouTube Let's Players, superstar, you know, motherfuckers and shit, they're playing good games or they're playing bad games, right? And
Yeah.
the bad games are fun because you can lampoon, you can see silly shit, you can experience that kind of thing for it. But if you just go through and be like, yeah, it's a pretty boring a whole way through and there's nothing notable to say, that's a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's really crazy.
They do say the point of art is to generate a reaction, and that if a reaction is not generated, the art is dead.
Exactly. There's no such thing as bad publicity, but there's such thing as no publicity.
Yeah.
The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is
indifference.
nothing.
Yeah.
Complete nothing.
Yeah.
That's cold blooded.
Like if you wanted to get someone to love you and they didn't like you, you'd feel bad. Or if you want to get someone to hate you, and that's also kind of bad too. But if you did something to try and get a rise out of someone and you just got nothing, what do you think? It's so easy to not deal with like internet trolls and shit. Don't respond. Don't do anything. People still do it, and that's what they want. But if you get no reaction, if you feel like you're just nothing, if you're doing things and nobody noticed, that feels the worst. If you're at work, even simple shit. If you're at work and you're doing a really good job and nobody does anything, nobody says anything, you feel like a complete piece of shit. You're like, wow, like I thought I was doing good.
No, I know,
but like
for real, dude.
Yeah,
I get that all the time.
Yeah, it's just funny how like when you have games like that, it's just like, yeah, it's cool. That's it. It was cool.
You want to give me some more than that? No, there's literally nothing more to give.
All right. So
also, happy National Video Games Day.
Yeah, exactly. This begs the question: what is the worst game you have each personally played?
Personally, well, there's the game that traumatized me for life, Friday the 13th for the NES.
Oh, that game is so fucking shitty.
It's so bad, but I'm scared every time I play it. Fucking, I go into the fucking, I'm like, I gotta go save the kids in the cabins, and then that's the spooky song starts playing, and I'm like, fuck, it's a third person over the shoulder, but it's kind of like a first person dungeon kind of thing. I hope I don't see fucking, Freddy. I know he's or not Freddy or Jason. He's gonna fucking come, and there he is. Fuck, it's hella scary every time when he pops up. Every time, jump scare. And then he has this 2 frames of animation. He walks in a fucking circle. He does like a square dance and then pokes at you with something. And I'm just throwing rocks and I'm scared as fuck still to this day. I won't play all by myself in the dark. That game sucks so bad. The graphics are awful.
Dude, I just treated
music's good even though it's a 6-second loop. God damn it.
It's got the same interface. It's got the same interface as fucking Punch Out. So I just treat it like a boxing game, and I'm like, it's like super easy.
You can duck too, right? Like you just like dodge to like whatever, Jason. You got shit on me.
Like, how do you react to 2 frames?
He literally walks in like a square. He just walks.
I mean, you're guessing. Like,
but there's something about it since I played it as a kid. It's fucking forever ingrained in my brain. Like I can laugh about it now, but if you got me in a dark room with that shit, you guys wouldn't even have to like jump in and jump scare me or nothing. I'd be fucking afraid.
Hey, you'd be like, "Hey, Tony!"
The sound of my own heart will like be like, "Who the fuck was that?" Like I'll be fucking dying.
I will say, most of the really awful games I played were when I was younger, and we didn't have that. Like, I didn't have the internet or social media to like make me aware. I was, it's when you were renting games at like your grocery store and they didn't have even pictures on the box. You're going by name alone. You're like,
or cart. You just got
this
the cart.
Could be okay, and you get it home and it's holy shit. This is the worst trash I've ever played.
It makes me wonder how many people. What game was it? Like Phalanx or something like that?
Oh yeah,
the guy with the banjo playing. I don't remember. Is it?
Yeah, the shooter.
Yeah, the shoot 'em up. But yeah, on the cover of it is a dude playing the banjo, and you're just like, you probably never rented that fucking game because you're just like, I want to play some hillbilly playing a banjo. Like, what the fuck is this?
Somebody in chat, any David Cage game is so bad. God.
Oh yeah, Phalanx. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I had to remember this shit. Like, what would ever entice a kid to be like, yeah, I could play the fucking video game that's got like this wacky raccoon with an exclamation point on its shirt, or this fucking like Rocket Knight? Like, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds tight. Or I could play this fucking Deliverance
playing a banjo.
What? I just wonder how little that game got rented and played like back in the day.
Like,
I bet even people who didn't buy the game to be rented just because they probably Star owners were like, who wants to play fucking Banjo Man? Like, what's this?
I feel like sort of as the years have gone on, the old rule, which was licensed games are fucking trash, has kind of faded, and I need people to remember that those games were fucking trash.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know what the problem is?
Ren and Stimpy games.
Oh, I owned
Simpsons
those
games.
Yeah.
Those were such fucking hot dumpster.
I had
fire
Bart versus
garbage.
the World for NES.
Dude, all the Bart games were fucking nightmare shits.
Yeah, but I also had Bart versus Space Mutants, and I think I had both of them.
God, you hate your life, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't like video games.
I owned Ren and Stimpy for the Genesis, the Stimpy's Invention, and I also had Space Madness, I think, for the NES. I played them.
I had Space Madness for Game Boy.
Dude, I played those games too, and I'm just like I couldn't tell you how many times I beat Stimpy's Invention too, just because I had it. Like, I wasn't even sure if I was enjoying myself, but I was playing it. I liked the cartoon. It was like, it felt like I was doing right by you know, the show. Like yeah, I'm playing the game. I'm like supporting out here, right? Like, it was really just like a time filler. And I also have to agree, but licensed games are still shit. Like, yeah. You guys remember Iron Man? You probably don't, now that I mention it, but Iron Man made by Sega for the Xbox 360? That's another game that, like, it was so bad, but it's just so mediocre. Nobody talks about it. Game's fucking garbage.
Or like Hulk for the fucking original Xbox or some shit like that.
Honestly, I liked Hulk for the Genesis.
Actually,
that game was also bad.
One of the last gen Hulk games wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but I think again, like, it was just like okay.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was.
Like a solid 7 out of 10 or something. Kind of.
Yeah, it was one of the ones where it's like, hey, do you want to like blow off some steam and just like punch stuff as the Hulk? And
I think you could put cars as like on your hands too.
Yeah. It's like you can equip gauntlets that are made out of cars and throw fucking oil tankers at tanks.
Man, you know what games were really bad? Like the Spider-Man games for SNES and Genesis, like Spider-Man and the X-Men and Arcade's Revenge.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that's a pretty bad one. Yeah, I just remember.
And I can't even remember what the Spider-Man game for Genesis was called, but it was fucking bad.
Separation Anxiety.
No. I'm talking about like the side scrollers, not before the beat 'em ups came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Spider-Man and the X-Men
bad. Like Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety were all right.
Yeah.
I think there's a classics of game. It's like a YouTube channel that has just like a bunch of silly stuff from crappy old games. But I think there was one where it was the Spider-Man meets the X-Men. And it's like, start Wolverine, like this cool music's playing, and then he gets hit and dies immediately. And it's like, oh, yeah, that game would suck. But I definitely played it. Because I was just like, yo, fucking Spider-Man and the X-Men, this shit's so cool. I watched this shit on Saturday.
Yeah. No, like, actually, like, Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety were, like, one of the only couple, like, good games Acclaim ever fucking released. I swear to God.
Who made the Superman for the Super Nintendo? The beat 'em up?
Wasn't that Acclaim?
Was it? Because that game was cool.
God, because I remember, you know what else Acclaim put out? They put out the fucking the Batman.
Oh, you know what? That was actually. It says it's Blizzard
the fucking
and
Joel
Sunsoft.
Schumacher Batman movie. They put out like this shitty like side scroller beat 'em up, but it looked like it was fucking like mocap shit, like Mortal
that
Kombat
shit?
was.
that the fucking Batman?
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That game was so fucking tragic.
You know, people actually. There's a guy that speedruns that, or he was 1cc's for it, and he's actually going to be on the 1cc-a-thon.
Really?
I forget who it is. Yeah, but the problem is that it doesn't emulate. He's playing the arcade version, it doesn't emulate properly, so there's no sound. But he does crazy combos, and that game is wild. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Also, yeah, the Death and Return of Superman was apparently developed by Blizzard and Sunsoft.
What?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I remember when I played that, I'm like, yo, Eradicator's the coolest Superman. He got his fucking shades, and he's just like two-tone.
Oh, he
I
just
got
hit you with
ballistic glasses.
Yeah.
He got the face hit you with the fucking Bono glasses. They're all fucking like yellow.
Yeah. That shit. I used to think that was so
before
cool.
they were a thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
In retrospect,
action time.
that game still was good, but it was also hard. It was one of those
God,
deals.
Acclaim made BMX XXX. Wow.
Wow, I forgot about that one. That was a game that when I heard it came out, I'm like I was like a teenager at the time, and I seriously was just like, this is the stupidest fucking idea. I bet the game
you're like, why
trash.
would anyone buy this fucking shit?
Like, I wasn't even enticed by, I could see 3D modeled pointy titties on a fucking video game while doing crazy BMX tricks. I was just like, This has got to be fucking garbage. There's no way. And wouldn't you know it, my intuition was right. At that point, I had already been jaded by video games. That's not true. I definitely got a lot worse as time went on.
What else was really bad? I'm trying to think.
There were so many
just fucking shit games.
Yeah. But then again, they also have the mediocre games that really are just really good. Like,
dude,
to me personally.
I mentioned it briefly earlier, but Bubsy is the most fucking also ran of also rans. Like, the first one you could fucking give it a pass, and then you play the second one, and you're like, why? Who okayed this? Like,
I don't even think I remember the second one.
And then Bubsy 3D.
But
it's like, yeah, I love lukewarm shit. Just
yeah, one was okay. It was like your most bare bones basic platformer, and it was weird. It was whatever.
Man, remember fucking
I actually kind of like Bugsy.
the days when everybody just released whatever the fuck platformer, like Mick Kids, like
that was
what happened with that?
No, yeah, but it's like it's so random.
Yeah, everybody was on. It was, thinking about it too. Like when I was a kid, I'd be like, "Oh, sick! We got Terminator and like all these other games, on fucking NES." But then like I really thought about it, and I was just like, some of these games that we played, like Addams Family, like I don't even think the movie had come out. It was just like any franchise people could put their hands into just to make a quick buck. They were like, let's fucking make a game. What do people like? Let's fucking mash the video game or some shit, right? It's like, wow. Yeah, there was a Gilligan Island game. Think about that. It was on TV. People watched it, but it wasn't relevant.
Somebody brings up fucking Cool Spot. Spot goes to Hollywood.
Hold on. I will argue for Cool Spot simply because that music is banging as fuck.
I actually own Spot Goes to Hollywood for Genesis. It's not as good as Cool Spot. It's not awful.
I remember playing that one a lot more though. I might have had that one. I don't remember. I just remember thinking it was so cool. He had sunglasses, and I like Sprite or 7 Up, whatever the fuck it was.
Fucking, God, I'm trying to think what other. There was like 4 different like McDonald's games. Like Genesis had a couple. There was like.
Oh God, Fester's Quest.
Oh, Fester's Quest is such a fucking shit game.
It's got such good music though. Because thank you, Sunsoft. But holy shit!
Like you really have to give it up.
Josh actually went and bought that I think in the last year, and we tried to play it, and I'm like, holy shit, this game is fucking awful.
Josh really needs to go to a GDQ just for their, like, they have, like, these bad game trades where, like, people just trade each other bad games and, like, sell each other bad games and shit. Like all the worst shit you could possibly think of is all in that room from what I hear. And you just buy it from someone or trade someone another shit game. It's some awful shit. I think he'd love it. Oh, man.
There's some awful, but and kind of bringing it back to fighting games, man. The 90s went on. We had plenty of really awful licensed fighting games. Like, Shaq Fu is the classic. But the Justice League games, Double Dragon, the SNES and Genesis one, not the fucking
not Neo Geo.
Neo Geo one. Because I haven't even played that one.
I like it. It's definitely kind of weird, but it's not necessarily bad, but it's definitely like poverty status. I mean, Josh plays it. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, fucking the 90s with fighting games, you had like all the fucking not SNK also rans, like
oh yeah,
like miscellaneous Samurai Fighter or miscellaneous Ninja Fighter.
Oh, Kabuki Clash.
Yeah.
Let's get the what is it? Fuck, I can't think of it. It's the one with Karate Kenji in it. God damn. Those fucking games are just bad.
What's the fucking Mortal Kombat clone that was on 3DO?
Oh, Kasumi Ninja?
No, Tattoo Assassins was an arcade game.
No, yeah, you mean Kasumi Ninja though, right? That one?
Maybe?
There's so many of them. It's ridiculous.
But...
Even Street Fighter tried to get into that fucking business. What a joke that was.
Oh, fucking Ranma 1/2 Hard Battle. Man, I fucking own that game for SNES.
I still have my copy.
I still have mine complete, and I fucking hate that game.
It sucks. That game is weird.
Way of the Warrior, that's what it is, by Naughty Dog. Oh, yeah. God, Naughty Dog, you fuckers. But...
Goodness.
Yeah.
With that, though, we definitely have seen a fighting game renaissance in the past few years.
That's what's weird is, it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have X to play, but I'm like, there's so many fighting games in the last few years, and you know what? Whether you like every single one of them or not, nothing as bad as the shit we got in the late 90s.
Oh yeah, like you could pick up any game that's probably come out within the last 5 years and at least have a decent time with it. It'll at least be somewhat solid. It might be boring, it might not be what you want, but it won't be too awful.
There hasn't been a Shaq Fu in a while.
No, yeah.
No. There hasn't been a Balls 3D in a while.
I used to think that game was cool.
I did too when it first came out.
It had a good concept.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. It was an
like
awful
3D balls just beating the crap out of each other.
Dude, remember? Have you
And as a
sat down and
9-year-old,
played
I
that
just
game?
love saying balls.
Look, yeah, I loved it too, so I own it. And for whatever reason, that game just decided to fucking do everything that was dumb in a fighting game at the time. It's like, yeah, we have fucking hidden commands that are weird as fuck.
Yeah.
You can turn into other characters. Like, why?
Yeah.
We have an obnoxious fucking final boss. Like, that'll show them. The kids will have fun.
It was seriously the reason why all those pirates for Street Fighter existed because people just thought of those were literally the scrubs, right? They were like, oh, that's not fair. Why can't Honda shoot fucking fireballs or shit like that? But these developers were those people as well. They're like, let's make a game where you can just do fucking crazy shit all the time. This is what people want. It really didn't occur to them to have any kind of semblance of balance or things like that. And I mean, even when original fighting games came out, I'm pretty sure Capcom didn't think too much about that either. Shit just was made. No. But it became its own thing,
Actually, there's something to be said about the way Capcom planned stuff out initially, because they obviously had a very methodical way of doing things.
Yeah.
I've seen some of their documentation, and it's like, oh, you guys kind of had an idea how this shit was going. But now it's like, when you look at some of these fucking games that came out at the time, you're just wondering, what the fuck were they on? When you fucking see some characters why does this character have a 2-frame anti-air that's completely safe on block?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those fucking 3D games like Mace the Dark Ages and Biofreaks and all that shit, it really felt like people were just trying to do different stuff to see. They were literally throwing shit at the wall to see what would stick.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we got some weird stuff. We got some stuff that's okay. I mean, look at the Bloody Roar and shit. They're like, all right, we're gonna have chains, but we're gonna have this mechanic where you can transform into a goddamn monster, and then you get supers and shit. That's not too far fetched, but it's its own entity.
If only the QA and some of the polishing was up to par with some of the fucking ideas that they had for designs. So it's like, you can turn into fucking a wolf that fights a bug, and it's like, yeah, it's tight.
Yeah.
But then some of the other shit, it's like, yeah, and both these characters have fucked up frame data and actual infinite.
You see this mole guy? This super's unavoidable. He just doesn't get fucked.
What is testing?
Yeah, so, but it's really cool that we are getting a lot more fighting games. It's kind of sad that obviously some kind of fall by the wayside or here and there, whatnot. Don't get as much publicity and stuff, but there's always going to be an audience for them,
Oh, yeah.
So, if something doesn't work for you, there probably will be something out there for you.
Yeah.
For a while, the only game I really cared about was Under Night. You can't really get to play it too much. Netcode's not really that great. But with 14 coming out, I've been really enjoying this a lot. I could just grab it, play whatever, play with my friends, play with anybody. I haven't really had too much trouble since the patch. But along with that, I mean, I played KI against a friend. Netcode was good on that too. I found that pretty enjoyable. But there's just other games that could be more popular, like Gear and stuff. I really would like to get into Gear, but I haven't yet. Really, I haven't really spent too much time with it because it's not what I'm really trying to focus on right now. But other people probably only play Gear, and that's what they want. Or maybe they like Gear, but they really want BlazBlue. We got a new BlazBlue coming out,
Well, speaking of that, actually, we just, for people who pre-ordered the Japanese version, they got the demo.
Yeah.
And last weekend, they actually had net play.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Apparently, I asked Beautiful Dude, he said it basically felt like it's the same Revelator net play. Which, I mean, it works. Sometimes it's not perfect, but it at least allows people to play regionally.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely really cool.
That was really weird too. That there was no announcement or anything. It just happened. They just put it out, and it doesn't seem like either North America or Europe are gonna get a demo. Because nobody's saying anything about it.
Interesting.
It almost seems like ArcSys didn't tell anybody.
What?
Huh. Who knows? Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. Because I was thinking, oh, you know, they released this demo, then next day or two, maybe Axis would say something about it if they were going to have one. And I haven't seen anything.
Plus with TGS coming, who knows if we'll have other people announce new games. You know, we don't know if there'll be rumor, you know, but there's rumors of Virtua Fighter 6, Soul Calibur 6 or some shit like that. You know, maybe it might happen, who knows? I don't really know. At the same time, it's like, what's it called? Yeah, we can get patches for the games. Or what about Under Night Latest? Are we going to be seeing that on console anytime soon? Tekken 7's coming into the new year. You know, you haven't played Tekken in a while. It's coming back. You know, it's already in the arcades, widely spread in a lot more of the Asian countries. You could watch people play it all the time. You know, we have so many options these days that you don't really have to limit yourself to anything, and that you should at least have something. You know, if you're interested in this kind of stuff.
Yep.
That's the really nice part.
Yeah, it's going to be weird because, well, I'm trying to remember. Did we get much in the way of fighting game announcements at TGS last year? We didn't really get much, right?
Just came with 14.
Yeah, I think we just got some 14 announcements, and yeah, I don't know. I really like that. Oh, I was gonna say I really like though that there was such a big Guilty Gear announcement at Evo though, because I feel like Evo being, you know, definitely a main fighting game audience, that's where you would want to tell people stuff. But then, you know, they usually will hold it for something else or sometime later in the year. So I was really happy that they did that for Gear.
Yeah, definitely me too.
But yeah, who knows what will have at TGS? I honestly have no clue. So anything to be shown will probably be, you know, nice in general, in gaming wise. Because I always feel like TGS does usually hold something for us. You get a little bit more information about a game, or, you know, throw out a couple new ones. But I really don't know what to expect. Especially not hearing too much out of Gamescom. You know, we got the Metal Gear. So who knows? Who knows what the future has in store? We really don't have too much. Probably won't hear anything about the NX, but there's rumors that there's going to be a NX Direct sometime in September, I think.
Interesting.
This is just rumors, though. I mean, I really have no idea. But I am glad with their approach of saying, like, yeah, we can put it out for the holiday season, but we'd rather hold off to make it better and maybe have games for it. I'm like, yeah, do that. So
yeah, I'd like some games. That'd be cool.
So the expected release date for now is what, like Q1, I think, of next year. But
oh, really?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like I don't really know exactly when anything's gonna happen, or if, you know, they might push it back. Look at all those other pushbacks we have from games. It happens all the time. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Well, you know, speaking with TGS and other stuff coming down, it does look like there will be some news for NRS fans, because they are actually going to get at least one more patch to MKXL. So,
is that coming out with like the PC release as well or something?
Ed Boon was on Twitter Friday saying they want it to come out at the same time, but they're not 100% sure.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, because I know, obviously, you know, we were talking about it a little bit last week, how just everybody is bitching about, I mean, mostly Alien. There's obviously been other characters.
Yeah.
But
there's always someone. It wasn't Alien, it was Tanya, it was Predator, it was Aaron Black, anybody, right?
Oh yeah, there's always at least one offending character that somebody's got to complain about.
I mean, that's really difficult too if you think about it. Just because, in the sense that, like, if you had a rock paper scissors style of like these three characters are good and one trumps the other, kind of, that might not go over so well, you know, especially if it's such a hard counter. Because then that kind of devolves the game to just counter picking your opponent. to some extent. But at the same time, it's just like there are characters that are just going to be better than others. You know, it's just unfortunate that happens. Yeah. If you made a game where everybody was like the same, though, would that necessarily be interesting?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, also, aren't we gonna at TGS? Are we gonna get the final information about like when we're getting Yurian and stuff in SF5?
Good question, because we haven't heard anything about that, huh? Oh no, we saw a trailer. I don't know when it'll happen.
Because I haven't heard a date.
They're probably done dropping dates at this point. They're like, we messed up. We should just.
It'll come out
when it's out. Duke Nukem forever. Yeah, so who knows?
Because I think they were saying that some information about the quote-unquote September update.
You mean the August update?
No, I think they called it the September update.
The October update.
The lousy Smarch weather update.
There you go.
It'll be out September 31st, October 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right. Damn. But yeah, I mean, I assume there's gotta be something. I mean, we're gonna get a date here in if not TGS, pretty soon. Because people been playing Yurian for months now.
Yeah, they're feeling pretty comfortable with him already. People talking about his normals being this good and that bad already, and I'm like, where are you getting this from?
Yeah, just wait until he kind of comes out and he's been tweaked, and everything he did will only give you somewhat of an idea of what he does, but ultimately...
It's pretty weird. I was looking at some of the stuff he has, like, he does a lot, like, a ton of his normals are special cancelable, like, ones that weren't in Third Strike.
Yeah, low strong being special cancelable, like,
is weird.
Physically irks me. Like,
yeah, it's really bizarre.
He did low strong headbutt, and I'm like,
So, I mean, there's definitely, and I think low forward is special cancelable too?
It's not okay.
That move's just had all the reach, so. But it'll be interesting to see what, when he finally comes out and what they change. I'd like to know what else they're gonna do for the update, because obviously they've been, rolling out some pretty big changes or additions when they've been rolling these updates out, but I don't know what else they'll add at this point.
Yeah.
I guess maybe more stages? I don't know. Although the stages they've released, haven't all exactly gone over so well.
Oh, you mean the one that's completely unplayable?
Yeah, that would be the one I was talking about.
Do you have anything other news? Because otherwise, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to have a quick discussion. I don't know how long it'll take, though.
What you got?
So, people are definitely aching for a new Versus title, especially in the Marvel Versus variety.
Okay.
But if you've noticed by Marvel's business practices, they've essentially been trying to destroy the existence of the Fantastic Four and X-Men, considering they don't own them for the movie rights. So obviously, you've seen comics being canceled, characters showing up less and less, and they still have certain standbys. Now, if we were to make Marvel vs. Capcom 4, let's say that was the next game, Marvel vs. Capcom 4, people will go crazy if it doesn't at least have Wolverine in it, right? But that's not necessarily what Marvel itself wants to promote, and they approve their side of characters. But I was thinking, do you think it would be easier to make the transition to not have the same characters in the game, instead of having Marvel vs. Capcom 4, we had a new franchise, essentially like a Marvel superheroes that didn't have anything Capcom in it, but essentially was still a Versus game at its core, but with only Marvel characters, and not include those franchises, and then eventually ramp up to a new Marvel vs. Capcom? Or do you think that they would, just say, whatever, we'll take our lumps, we'll put in X-Men and, whatever to appease the fans? Or do you think they just say, screw all of you, we're doing what we want? Or how would you think they would approach that? Do you think having a new game to kind of restart, because, obviously at first we had X-Men Children of the Atom and then built up to the other games until we got to the grandeur that is Marvel vs. Capcom. You think they would do better by just making a Marvel-only fighting game and then building up to that again, or just going out with 4? Or what?
I honestly have wanted a Marvel-only fighting game for the longest time. The idea that, the Infinity Gem stuff could have been expanded upon really intrigued me, and it's just one of those things that they just kind of abandoned by the wayside.
I would be interested to see what they would do with like basically a new Marvel superheroes, sort of like a revamp on that idea, because especially now you'd end up with a lot more characters, and you probably, thanks to the way the Marvel movie franchises are playing out right now, you'd probably end up with a lot more interesting characters. So I'd be down for that. I just don't know. I really don't know what they would want to do, because obviously, you know, Marvel's tried to get a couple different like games, you know, like fighting type games with, you know, without Capcom, because they did, what was that? EA did that. Was it an X-Men game?
Those were, yeah, there were two X-Men games. There were Mutant Academy, I think.
Oh yeah, Mutant Academy 2.
They had some neat ideas, but again, one of those things where it's like, whoever your tester was, maybe next time not a hamster. They really suffered from like a ton of fucking generic fighting game problems, which is like, we never tested this. There's characters that are just supremely overpowered.
Yeah.
And, you know, while it's fun to dick around, it's like, you're never going to get this anywhere, especially now in this market.
But, so it'd be cool. You know, there'd be some really cool characters they could add, honestly, now. With, like, you know, Black Panther's getting his own movie, he'd be really cool. Ant-Man obviously had a movie recently, he'd be kind of cool.
We can push Latino Ghost Rider.
There you go.
Yo, my boy,
we could actually get a Thanos that wasn't fucking stupid. You know,
yeah.
I would like to see something like that. I just wonder if you announced something that wasn't Marvel vs. Capcom, would it be really disappointing to a lot of people? I think it would, but I also think people would come around.
Yeah, I just feel like if you made Marvel vs. Capcom 4 and decided to leave out certain franchises or something like that, that would probably be a bigger injustice rather than creating. That's not what I really meant. Yeah. I'd be like, that would be worse than like making a whole new thing essentially and not calling it Marvel vs. Capcom, but still making it like a versus game style and gameplay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like again, going back to, you know, Marvel superheroes or Children of the Atom kind of deal.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if I'll be honest. I don't, since, you know, obviously the Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the license agreement, you know, obviously didn't last that long, and it seemed like, you know, they kind of broke off and went their separate ways. I would love to see them build to something like a Marvel 4 from something different, but I can't say that anyone is willing to sit in an agreement long enough to actually get it done. You know, because you would have to plan, you know, X games over X time period, and it just seems like everybody now is too quickly jumping from one licensee to another.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's an interesting thing, because obviously people out there really want another Marvel game. It's beloved by a ton of people. But, you know, what exactly do you do to approach it? You just do it? Just make another one, be like, hey guys, Forza coming out.
Like Mugen it or some shit?
No, I mean, I wonder what Marvel's stance really is on it, and like, what's the realistic? Because like, remember, for a while there, they had cut all other companies making their games. It felt like, because they wanted to do everything in house, and then they closed their video game division at Disney.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, well, you can go back by the old standbys that people like at least, you know. But
well, and you know, that actually brings up a good point. Is have any new Disney games been announced?
Not really.
Since that,
like Kingdom Hearts is the closest thing, I think.
You know, but so I'm just kind of wondering, like, because there's a ton of licenses on the table.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like you said, other than Kingdom Hearts, which has probably been an agreement that's been in place.
Oh yeah, there's that new Spider-Man that'll be coming out.
Oh yeah.
Who's making that?
Sony.
Okay.
It's like I think it's Insomniac.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And of course, you know, we have our Lego Marvel's Avengers game and stuff like that. But those have always kind of been around, like the Marvel's games. But other than that, I don't really know exactly what they have for the future. A lot of it's just phone games and stuff. You know, simple stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's weird. I think there's like all the licensed stuff is in a weird place right now. And here's another question: is that would Capcom even have the team or the resources to put into a new Marvel game at this point?
That's true as well. At the same time, you know, do you think, because there's definitely a void of versus game like gameplay that people are missing out on right now.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like maybe they'll look to another company, much like how they did the Tatsunoko, or will they try and do a Capcom All Stars and just cross over with themselves? You know, like what do you think would be the best logical step in order to get a versus style fighting game out to the masses?
It has to be a Capcom brand?
I mean, this is made by Capcom, so I'm just gonna say yeah, a versus style game made by Capcom. Like, obviously, the easiest thing probably would be to use your own franchises, but at the same time, Marvel vs. Capcom was huge because of Marvel, not necessarily Capcom. You know?
Yeah.
It was cool.
Like, what was the draw, right?
Yeah.
Because what came first? You had all the Marvel superheroes games that got people in the fucking arcades, and then suddenly you're like, dog, you can play as, you know, Ryu versus Wolverine.
Yeah, but like that's the thing too. You go out on the floor right now, you'd be like, yo man, fucking, how do you feel about, you know, Ryu? And people will be like, who? Or people will be like, oh yeah, I remember him, it's kind of cool. Street Fighter's fairly more mainstream. But if you'd be like, hey, how do you feel about any Marvel hero that I just like named off that's in, like, you could say almost any Marvel hero that's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and people will know who you're talking about at this point, you know?
True. That popular.
Obviously there's definitely like some that won't get as much, like people probably won't talk about Nova so much, you know, unless they like really latch the cartoons because they haven't really had a forefront. But like even now you could be like, yo, fucking oh, how do you feel about Thor? How do you feel about Rocket Raccoon? How do you feel about, you know, all these other characters? People, that's the biggest draw to a wider audience than just like, check it out, we got Ryu fighting Ryu from Breath of Fire. You know? Yeah, so while it would probably be easiest to do it from only Capcom, I still think that, I'm not sure, yeah, like you were saying, if they have a team appropriate for that, or if they would even have you know, the money or the people going in. Honestly, I like Tatsunoko as well, but if they made another one, I don't think people would still care that much.
Yeah,
you know,
and even then, like, it's one of those games where, like, who really knew a lot of those characters? Like, unless you were like diehard fans of the series.
Yeah.
I still feel like Tatsunoko would have done at least okay had it not been Wii only.
Oh yeah, you mean like the hardest game to actually fucking, or the hardest system to actually get like sticks to work on?
Yeah. Well, and it was the system that most fighting game players didn't own. If they were just owned a system to play fighting games, they didn't have a Wii at all.
Yeah, that's very true.
Although there was technically one excuse for getting one earlier on, which was the Accent Core for Wii.
Yeah, AC Plus.
Yeah.
AC Plus came out on that, but it also came out on, well, not Plus, but AC came out on PS2. But then they made the slightly updated, not very different one for the Wii U.
Yeah, it was like, yo, see me in AC Plus, like plus R, nah, bro. Like,
with
just
the
plus.
No more quadruple sidewinders.
Like, get this this algebra shit out my face.
Oh boy.
Just give me the simple arithmetic.
I don't need to do a clean hit. Let me just spend some meters.
But no, yeah, so they just never really got off the ground, and like some people were kind of hoping it would. Like I remember there was a big push for like TVC to come on like PS3 or something, but
oh yeah, everybody was like, we want it on this platform. Why put it over here? Why did you put it on the Wii? And it kind of makes sense. Why did you put it on the Wii? It wasn't necessarily like the fighting game platform.
I mean, they technically did with Marvel, right?
Yeah.
They just took out all the good stuff.
But I mean, ultimately, I don't think it was a bad game.
No, it wasn't bad.
I thought
it was actually really fun.
I thought that Ryu Tekka Man Blade was kind of boring, but you had characters like Alex who really spiced it up.
Gosh, I gave him a dropkick.
Yeah, like there was so much cool stuff in that game. People hated Giants, but I loved watching people lose the Giants. That was the best.
I like how you're like, people hated fighting them, but I loved watching people lose to them. Like, you're not selling it for me, dude.
That's a good crowd experience.
They're good, but they weren't as good as people always made them out to be. It's just that you had to play them against them differently. It's like whenever you're playing.
PTX was really good.
Yeah, but so was like a lot of other characters.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But it's just like I could play Batsu and Alex in a fighting game. Like I was on that shit, you know. They had some of my more beloved characters that I could play together on a team. And I really liked playing Gold Lighton, even though he wasn't that great. But I was like, yo, this character's sick. I'm gonna punch the shit out of this guy.
Was really cool, even though, like, yeah, he was not considered that good. He was just cool.
Well, I know. Well, I mean, like, it seems like with versus games, like, people are still picking up the idea of it, but it's just not what the game series that we want, especially with the developers. Like, I tweeted earlier today that DBZ versus One Piece is the thing now. Like, but it's on fucking 3DS. And it's
they also even had like Battle Stadium Dawn before, Dragon Ball One Piece Naruto, you know.
And what was it? The Shonen Jump fight games for DS.
Jump
I have one of
Superstars.
those. I can't even remember what they're
and
called.
Jump Ultra Stars.
Yeah, Jump Stars. There you go.
Yeah,
like those games are fun.
Yeah, they're simple, but honestly, I would say it's the best Smash Brothers like game. I mean, we can't all be Dust Strikers, I know, but
shit.
You know?
the DBZ versus One Piece is done by ArcSys, so it's like,
really? They're because I remember they made the DBZ game, but now they make a DBZ.
So what they did was they took the game that they made for 3DS and they made a game for One Piece, and it's basically the same engine. And then they were like, "Hey, we're going to release a patch where you can play against the other roster."
Oh wow!
Cartridge. So. I don't know if you'll have access to the roster as, like, you know, if you have DBZ, do you have access to the One Piece roster, or do you have to like go out and like switch cartridges or something? But either way, like, it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. What I would also like is if they did like a Project Cross Zone fighting game, you know, where you just had Capcom, Sega, Namco, and maybe, you know, throw Nintendo in there or any other company that wants to join it.
Make it not an RPG.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if we had those three companies, or even four, because they all seem pretty chummy with each other in certain regards. Obviously, they had what was that called? The Project Trinity or whatever, where they had Sega and Namco make games for Nintendo. Like they made F-Zero GX and Star Fox Assault. You know, they had them like make some stuff for them. And obviously, when they made Smash Brothers, Sakurai was given free reign to essentially pull anybody from Namco he wanted to make his team and then get other people. So there's definitely a lot of talent sharing that they can do there. So, you know, if they make an NX fighting game, which would probably be weird because you wouldn't have a stick. I don't really know how the control system would work. But like, even if they were just to make Capcom, Sega, Namco, I could see that working, you know? Capcom, Sega, Namco, make it a versus style fighting game.
Well, Sega has to do something first. They have to make a new fighting game.
Yeah, we're gonna get Fighting Vipers 3.
Hey, whatever, anything, man. I'll take it. I will take it and be like, you know what? I might have been wrong about you, Sega.
Didn't they make what's it called?
We didn't even get Fighting Vipers 2, man. I don't think we're getting 3.
We got Fighters Mega Mix. That was good enough.
That was pretty close.
But we didn't get Pepsi Man.
That's true. We definitely didn't.
That wasn't Sega. That was different.
I mean, what else we got? We got Dengenki Bunko fighting. That's it.
No. What's the other one?
Oh yeah, we got Blade Arcus.
Yeah.
Blade Arcus. Does the Steam version have online yet?
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. We don't even have online.
Oh man, Tech Romancer. Shogundo brings up.
Huh?
I was all about Tech Romancer. That game was silly as fuck. But I love giant robots.
Yeah, so I think it's possible, especially with the advent of like mass competitive fighting games being very popular, at least enough to be on ESPN and whatnot. And you know, we've got friends within the industry who want to push this even further, and so I think devs are going to be very interested in getting as much as they can. I don't know if it's going to be Capcom though, because I think Capcom's just betting it all on Street Fighter V.
Yeah,
I think if they make another fighting game, it won't be for, you know, at least until Street Fighter V is well within its, like, you know, golden age.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't do anything else until then either, honestly, because there's a lot of things to fix in Street Fighter V. So There's
Oh
no
yeah,
way.
they can get Arika to make another game for him, right?
Yeah, they could. They could outsource it like that, and you know.
Yo, give us EX4.
You're not down.
I mean, I'm down. I just don't think I want it to be a tag fighter.
Fuck no.
6-bar combos.
God.
Well, that's all I had to talk about, I think.
What else is there? I don't know. I was just thinking just about fighting games and the climate right now. How definitely people are into these sort of games. I mean, we got stuff like DOA that even has crossovers with Sega and now SNK. We got Mai coming out soon, and she looks really faithful to original Mai. Like, it's so weird. I wouldn't have expected that how she plays.
Did you see
I wonder how that's gonna work out.
I don't know.
There's an alternate costume, I think, for Kasumi that makes her basically Kasumi Toto.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not see that. That's actually cool.
Shit, she's
Too bad she plays nothing like Kasumi.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna say. Let's give her like a command counter for no reason. Actually, she actually has that.
Yeah, an Aikido girl. No
Yeah.
pain.
She can totally do that.
I haven't played DOA in a long time. I would only play DOA now at this point to play. It sucks because, I mean, I guess Rachel is now Spartan 458, but different. Hitomi's cool because she punches people really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And Ain's fucking punches hard too. Those are the characters I used to play Ain all the time just because I just fucking punch really hard.
I like to see the butt.
And then you get him against the danger zone walls, and then you just do the gut punch, like grab, and then they lose like 60%. Like, I love burst damage in grappling.
Actually, the only time I tried to play that game, I played Hitomi and I think it was Bayman, just because he had the fireman carry into the launch where he just like chucked them half a screen away.
Oh no, you're thinking of Leon.
Oh yeah,
He
that
just
was Leon.
throws him like a damn missile.
Yeah, he just chucked him like a damn missile. The best thing was playing on like the stage that was like the fucking like Lion King stage where there's animals everywhere, and one of the walls was like a bunch of elephant butts. So I would just go out of my way to throw them into elephant assholes.
But yeah, that and you know, then obviously I'd probably like try to play Akira or something like that. I want fucking Virtua Fighter. There's no sumo in fucking Dead or Alive, and then you don't put Taka in the game. Fuck you guys.
Doesn't fit the aesthetic.
God damn it.
There's like there are random dude characters that like just are big dudes, so it's not like
Bass, Bayman, Leon. You got the fucking huge motherfuckers. And they nerfed their size in the latest game. They're more realistic human size now.
Fuck that.
That's no fun. Yeah, who cares about
They all
that?
need to be Vader.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Base is basically just like fucking Hulk Hogan. It
Yeah.
is.
But
I need my 12 and 13 Ralph and Clark, man. Come on.
yeah. Well, who
That'd be
knows?
kinda
Like,
sick.
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
know if that
frickin-
means more for SNK wanting to cross over, or if it's just DOA trying to do its best, its damnedest to still stay alive, despite the game being fairly old at this point. You know?
Well, I'll say
You know
this.
what's
Go ahead. I think we're probably gonna.
Oh, I
miss
was
the
gonna
point.
say. I was just gonna say something really dumb, really quick, which is, man, where's the like Clark or Ralph costume for Bayman? Like, he already basically wears that shit anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Leon had like an ammo bandolier one with a bandana, I think, in 2 or 3 or maybe 4.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they definitely have like the Rambo or something. But yeah, they can make it more direct than that.
Yeah. What I was gonna point out is like for a game that is as old as this version of DOA is, man, are they putting out a ton of shit for it?
Yeah, right?
They've really supported this game.
I mean, that's
I
crazy.
actually kind of have thought about getting it just because I'm like, man, I'm really happy you guys like kept supporting your game.
Yeah, but I would really like to see like, who knows who are they going to reach out to other companies? Are they going to pull another character? They could. It's such an enigma to me at this point that they could probably do whatever they want, especially because it's Tecmo Koei, right?
Yeah.
And these guys, they make Warriors games for literally everybody out there. They're like, how do we not see like Dragon Quest 3 hero fucking Loto shows up and be like, what the fuck's going on? I honestly wouldn't. I'd be a little surprised, but at this point I'd be like, no, I see where they're coming from. I get that. Oh, we now, or they're making Neo, right? Like, we put the guy from Neo, Williams, in the game. Tie-in for our other games. Who knows? Tecmo Koei, Gitaru Man's now showing up. I have no fucking clue.
Hey, man, that's how you make that money, dude.
Yeah.
See that if Capcom needs to get on anything and something like that, I mean, if any other development companies get on anything, it's something like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have Attack on Titan stage, which is just like a rebranded other stage, and costumes. Like,
yep.
You know the weird thing is
their crossovers no bounds.
The weird thing is
actually
Capcom can totally bankroll this the same way because they have the other freaking Musou game, Sengoku Basara.
Yeah, or not even that. Do you think like if Capcom was just like, hey, let's do a tie-in with so-and-so, or is Street Fighter V, the next character we're getting is Heihachi. Pikachu's coming next.
Actually, that's like a legit concern.
Pikachu?
Yeah, Pika Libre.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
The first time, I mean, the Pokemon Company isn't a Nintendo. It's still a part of Nintendo and kind of owned by Nintendo. But technically, if they approved that, I don't think Nintendo could say anything about that. They'd be like, well, fuck, all right, guys.
Can we talk about how upset people would be if our Pika got the Pika Libre costume and you just had to fight against that the entire time?
Yeah, that would suck. Be like, God damn it, I'm getting my ass whipped by a fucking tiny ass character.
What they're gonna do is, because Tekken 7 actually doesn't have any of the old animal characters, they're just gonna put in a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I want the trailer because like, remember how he lifted his head and we saw it was Goki.
Yeah.
I want him to like look over to the side and then the screen pans over and Pikachu's there too. He's like
just in the Heihachi pose, the arms crossed, and like
Pikachu is hella pissed.
Yeah, with the new game, right? They have the new Raichu, so does that mean they'll have a new Pikachu? And if they do, you know, we could have this one's Akuma's Pikachu, but this one's Heihachi's Pikachu, and now they're fighting each other to the death. This one knows electrics, but this one knows the fucking air fireball. Like, oh god.
That'd be pretty dope.
You could do jumping aura blast. What the fuck?
You know, actually going back to DOA for a second, I was pretty impressed last year at NEC that they got a really decent showing, like including international competition.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, this is a company that's still putting shit out for their game, and people still enjoy it.
Yeah. And I don't think the balance has changed too much. It's just like other shit, which is fine. The game at least
it's a lot of like it's basic. You know what? Honestly, it is. It's exactly the same as like League and Dota. It's mostly like additional cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't have to buy it, but it's always there if you want it.
Yeah, and there's update patches so you can still see it. You don't have to buy it, but you can look at it if someone else is playing it. Hey, it's cool. And you still get the game. You can play the game for free. Sure, you like the character swap, but again, it's the League of Legends kind of deal. Here's your free character. Go play it. If you like them, you can buy it, or you can go buy the full game. Honestly, that's fine with me.
You can play the panda.
I don't know when this became like a DOA like advocacy stream, but you know, like
I mean, it's just
not even the weirdest thing we've talked about.
It's sort of like just options. That's kind of where we got here from.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you enjoy other fighters, there's plenty.
Yeah, and it'd be cool if, you know, other companies did it as well or something. I don't know what makes them so special. Is it smaller that they get better deals or something like that? I know licensing certain shit would be weird, but if you just saw after Capcom Cup, it was over. Hey, we got a special trailer, and Terry Bogard was in Street Fighter V. Are you telling me people wouldn't fucking lose their minds?
Why,
you know how much money that would generate? Look at Cloud in fucking Smash Brothers.
Yeah, people.
You know how fucking crazy that was? Final Fantasy 7 was the game they jumped off Nintendo. That only leads me to believe that fucking 7 Remix is going to end up on NX as well. But even so, that's free money for both companies. Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, you know, it's like, at this point, we still don't have Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's to say we couldn't end up with SNK and Tekken characters in Street Fighter V next year?
It could be wild. We don't even know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, like,
or hell, even have Sega like fucking Virtua Fighter shows up to the mix, be like, "What's up, fuckers? We're finally doing this."
Yeah, man.
I think you're scaring everybody, guys. They're all like, "Oh,
yeah, like,
you know." But it's really kind of an interesting time for fighting games in that you're starting to see these crossovers between. Obviously, you know, it's mostly SNK doing a lot of this, but you know, Street Fighter, and Tekken have already been doing it for several years.
Yep.
So there's a lot of room. There's definitely some wiggle room that was not here years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we definitely.
And plus, with like Sony footing the bill for KOF and fucking Street Fighter V, how do we know we just won't see CVS 3 finally? Who knows?
Man,
And Sony will be thrown into the mix.
I mean,
I think everybody would actually lose their shit if that happened.
Yeah, they totally would. There'd be no reason not to. They'd be like, it's been fucking 14 years. Holy moly.
I mean, like the amount of people that pulled in back in the day when nobody really played these games, just basically, even back then it was huge, right? And now you basically put that on today's standards, like it's going to be gigantic. So I hope so. I hope they're willing to do something like that. But I know they're more focused on making their own games perfect right now. So
Oh, of course.
I can be patient. I'm still having fun with KOF 14.
Yeah. That's why I don't think CBS is really going to roll out. Just because KOF 14 just dropped.
Yeah.
And while it's been successful, it hasn't even had its own life yet.
Nope.
So I do think that in the future...
I'm really waiting to hear if this the KOF 14 DLC list that leaked all those months ago is right.
Man. Like I definitely know that some of those characters on that list will boost sales dramatically. Yamazaki being the most important one.
Some of those characters are super popular.
Yeah. And so like I kind of think that if it wasn't real when it came out, it's definitely possible now.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least that it's in their head. We're like, oh crap, this had a pretty big reaction to it. It almost would be kind of a shame if they didn't do it.
Just put in Tony team, Jin Fuha, Mizoguchi, and Hinako, and then I'll be cool.
We should have Oda on the show someday.
I want Yamasaki, Hydern, Vanessa, Rugal, Lawrence Blood.
Damn.
You want the
We just want to
cheap
team
stuff,
over
man.
here on Santa's lap.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, I'm talking. I'm going all the wish list shit.
Trying to win
bunch
here.
of Marco Wolves characters actually would be. I'd like Bijane.
Yeah, if Bijane came back, that'd be pretty big. If Rock Howard got added to the game,
I think a lot of people would actually buy Rock Howard.
Yeah, they would.
People love that fucking character.
That's the thing. That would just generate so much money. And think about it. They could even add like a promotional art ending if you had a team of Terry, Geese, and Rock. Just like a little joke picture after you beat the story mode. Oh my god, that would generate so much revenue.
Just a hint at it. Well, they tried that before with those little collectible digital cards. And then we saw all those sprites for 13 that never came out. We were just like, those look great.
Yes, those cards that made everybody sad because it was like basically character models for all these characters we never got in that game.
Dude, that was the biggest fucking tease. Like when you see fucking Geese like turned around and like on top of corpses of other people, and you're like, yo, fucking give me this shit. And you're like, well, we gotta wait, to burn the fight over here to ever play Geese again.
And we didn't even know back then. It was just like, oh no, like that's weird. Why would you do that? Look at these trophies. You got freaking.
Why'd you move all me, dog? Like, you got fucking Whip in there, like.
That's cool. She's in there.
Dude, even
Those
Mr.
three
Wizard wants to see
dirtbags that
Whip.
play Whip.
Well, on the bright side, they're all appearing in like the game's ending. So like, if there's anything about like characters appearing in story arcs in the game, they eventually appear inside the game playable. So
and like. I really hope, like, the only characters that I wanted were Gato, Freeman, and give me another Kyo clone. Give me Kusanagi.
I'm almost sure they didn't kill all of them.
Solid as
One of them has to be alive, yeah.
Solid Nagi.
To be honest, the characters that are on the list are a lot of the characters people would want anyway. Like, obviously, Yamasaki, Vanessa, Blue Mary, Takuma. But I mean, other characters like Whip, Raiden.
Oh, and it's Raiden too. It's not Big Bear.
No, yeah.
Bao, man. Do people really want Bao back?
I want Bao, so
okay,
whatever.
Look, like, there's actual shitbags that really, really like Bao. Like,
dude, can you see the EX combos now? Closely forward, activate, closely
I'm
forward.
already throwing up.
EX ball, EX ball, EX ball, EX ball.
I'm already throwing up.
Super. You just raw activate. If you land any C, you're gonna do course circle back 2 punch, course circle back 2 kick, and you're gonna do like 60%. They're
and
fucked.
he's making annoying sounds the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Bao is basically a fucking playable Pokemon. Like,
dude, Blanca with projectiles. I am so in. Reflectable like imagine if Blanca Ball reflected projectiles as he flew at you.
I think this is why we're not getting DLC, man.
Shit, I'll play that Blanca. Isn't that CVS 2 Blanca basically?
Roll cancer?
I'm known as Descent
roll
Pal
cancer.
in Japan. That's me. I'm the best.
That character Bao gets me tight. I do not want Bao back.
I do.
This is why
100%.
This is why we won't get DLC, because every time somebody starts talking about DLC, SNK is like, "Oh shit, here comes the wish list," and now they got techniques, technical stuff they want in there, and we'll see. I'm hoping for it.
Just bringing up Rock Howard like you guys did before. It's just like, hey, he's our #1 most voted popular character. When are we gonna put him back? He's our #1 most voted popular character.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
guys. No, seriously. Don't fucking do this to us.
How about Nakamura?
DLC character Armor Ralph.
Yeah.
All right, that's who I wanted.
Yeah, that's wanted. It's like, we got Nightmare Geese. No, okay. How about can we get Rock Howard back? You got Armored Rock Howard. What? Ralph.
What? At least alternate costumes. Yeah. Anyway, we better
Give Terry the Rock Howard.
Give him the wild.
Wow, I think that would actually piss people off.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna do it now. They heard us.
I'm all right.
I would actually be happy if they gave Terry his Mark of the Wolves outfit.
Yeah, I think it would go over. I think with the fact, well, in Maximum Impact, it wasn't just an alternate costume; it was a different character.
Yeah, he had like another one that kind of had him like a Blue Mary costume, but then Wild Wolf was a separate character.
Yeah.
See, now I hope they do it so they forget that he has the hat turnaround in his level 3.
He just does it.
He just touches his hair. It's like, Terry, you got
his
some headlocks,
scalp
dog?
around.
What's going on?
He's gonna do like some like Maybelline hair commercial stuff where he's like runs his fingers through his hair and pulls it back, like sparkles of his sweat flying off, and then punches you in the fucking face.
Maybe he's born with it, but maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe Terry seems like the kind of guy to have like a sandwich, and when he has mayo on his hand, he just wipes it on his hair. He good.
To slick it back. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right.
Yeah, I think
Anybody got anything else?
Just enjoy your National Video Games Day, despite it being over for most people, anyways.
Yep. All right. I don't even know. Chris went into some outro music all of a sudden.
My bad.
So,
guys.
nobody else got anything else?
My bad.
Nobody?
I got
Going
no.
once? Going twice? All right.
We good.
Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Super Desperation Radio. So from all of us here, good night and good luck.